Come over here, Lupe. Come look at this. This is what Razer posted on their Instagram. The future of gaming is AI, and every single comment is negative. Woo! I thought Razer's customer support was bad, but it turns out their marketing department is even worse. They're just as out of touch with their consumer base as their customer support team. Wow. This is just such a perfect example of how detached Razer is from reality. Razer doesn't exist for the customer. They exist for Razer. Oh yeah, all businesses exist for themselves. Yes, but Razer doesn't care about you. That's the difference. They don't care about you. They care about Razer. Now, as frustrating as that is, I'm glad I saw that post yesterday. It reminded me that I have this, a 2015 Razer Blade Pro 17. That is very, very disgusting. It actually smells too. What does that smell like, Lupe?
It smells like mayonnaise and seaweed.
I have this Razer Blade 17 Pro Super Max because a very kind viewer donated it to us. This is the email he said. Hello, I have a doozy of a laptop for you. I have a Razer Blade Pro 2015 laptop that I bought brand new direct from Razer for about $2,500. It did serve me well until its onboard battery decided to turn into pillows in 2022. You don't say. Full pause. I'm very surprised it took that long, so I'm not even mad at that. The problem with Razers is it happens like after a year. So what, 7 years? That's not actually bad. Let me continue. The one neat feature of it is the trackpad is made of glass and functions as a secondary screen. You ready for the Razer part of this? But in 2019, Razer removed support for that feature, and now it operates as a mouse only.
That's nice.
Man, 2015 you spend $2,500 on a nice laptop. This is a big feature. I mean, that was an LCD and you had little hotkeys that you could bind them to. Super cool. And then 4 years later, they just, never mind, we're not supporting this function. Hold on a second. That function was tied to Razer Synapse, and the app updated where it just dropped support entirely for that function. Anyway, if you want it, you can have it. I'll even send you the laptop to you on my own dime at no expense to you. Super thoughtful, super thoughtful. You know who you are, I'm not gonna name you, but thank you very much. So he gave me a little more history after that. Even though I personally don't seek a shout out, here are some facts about that laptop that surround it that you could use. Interesting facts. I resided in Germany between December 2019 and June 2024 and had to endure Germanic style of lockdowns while using this laptop. The laptop saw action in Ukraine in early 2022. I almost had to abandon it in Mariupol because the Russians decided to pour over the border. I almost ran out of time to gather my stuff to flee. That's wild. It's been in the following countries: the US, Canada, Mexico, Germany,
France, Switzerland, Australia, the Netherlands, Ukraine, Djibouti, Somalia, Eritrea, and Sudan.
So you know what, it smells, but it's earned that smell. And that's why I'm not gonna fault Razer for this one, because this computer actually lasted my customer. But I am gonna fault Razer for discontinuing a function that you purchased for $2,500 in 4 years. You discontinue that function. You bought the computer, did you not buy that function? How can you just disable that function remotely? I don't understand it. What I do know is we're gonna get this thing back up and running. We're gonna replace the battery, we're gonna de-gooch it, it is f***ing disgusting, and we're gonna replace that thermal paste, and we're gonna try to bring it up to Windows 11 standards. Obviously, the first thing I wanna do is make sure it actually charges, so.
That was not sketch.
That was very sketch. I shouldn't say charges, I'm sorry. I wanna make sure it turns on. All right, we have light, I hear a fan. We have that cool little Razer light, and here we are. So F12, enter setup. This thing is very filthy. 16 gigs of DDR3. Wow.
That's old.
Ironically, the one thing Razer does right, besides marketing to people that buy overpriced things because they're colorful and they look nice, is hinges. So Razer does make some pretty good hinges nowadays because the unibody design that they use, that they stole from Apple. Oh my God, do you see that?
No.
There's a plume of dust that just came out of the fan. But clearly this is not good hinges on this product. It turns on, that's all we need to know. I don't know the specs on this thing at all. It looked like it had a 4th gen i7, 16 gigs of DDR3. Don't know what graphics card it takes. I do know it's overheating. Holy crap, this thing's so hot and it's done nothing. So let's check out the ports on this guy. Jesus. We have our headphone jack, 3 USB 3.0 ports, HDMI, Ethernet, which is nice. That's the DC jack. Look how tiny that heatsink is. The tiniest vent known to man, which is absolutely wild. We got some MacBook-inspired hinge right here. As you can see, the hinge is breaking. This thing's been dropped a few times, so who knows what's happened to it. Another vent, another tiny heatsink. and the laptop lock. Clearly this is where he probably ripped it off, and there's missing screws. A bunch of the screws are stripped. This does use Torx screws, and clearly the guy probably didn't have a correct size Torx screwdriver, so yeah, kind of went to town on this thing. I'm gonna go into another little rant right now. Razer is too obsessed with making things thin, and they're not obsessed enough with making things last. If you look back on their mission statement from way back, they said they wanted to be basically the Apple of gaming laptops. Make them as thin as possible and as powerful as possible. The problem with that, Apple's laptops nowadays are very reliable, regardless of what your neckbeard cousin says. They're very reliable because they fix their cooling system and they know how to manufacture it. Razer didn't. Razer shoves a 5090 into a thin chassis with modern day cooling, which cannot cool a 5090 when your chassis is that thin. So they use the entire bottom panel as a heatsink, the top case as a heatsink, the battery ends up bloating because of the excess heat, the GPU ends up killing itself, CPU ends up killing itself, you have random issues, keyboard not working, touchpad not working, all sorts of random things caused by exposure to excessive heat. That's where Razer goes wrong. It's very aggravating because they have the potential to make a device that actually works, but they don't. I would like to say that they're the Maserati of the laptop world, but they don't even get that credit because Maserati makes some nice cars. I don't know if you guys can see how stripped this screw is. Oof, jeez, all right.
So you're having a stroke,
no,
man.
The only thing stroking here is you.
Speaking about stroking.
Wait, where's this going? No, hold on. Filthy. Wow, look at this. Come here, come here, come here.
Is there a minefield?
Look at this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Look at that. So that's the plastic frame. Oh, I love it. I love it. Let's pause for a second, everybody. Razer used glue to glue the plastic frame to the metal lid. The glue melts off, the plastic either sticks to the frame itself, obviously, probably if I were to guess, it got ripped off because this guy stripped the screw and probably just broke it off. They couldn't afford to just put a little smaller hole right here, so the rounding of the screw would just apply pressure. Just a little bit, that's all you needed. But no, they decided to use plastic. Interesting.
Toothpaste right there.
Toothpaste? No, that's semen.
The battery's looking kind of spicy.
Oh man, is it ever. And this is a second battery, so this isn't the original battery. It's actually funny because we have a replacement battery.
Dun, 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 dun.
Looks very similar, not the exact same, but my concern though right now is to get this screw out of here. So let me just, there. Easy peasy. If anything, we'll just buy another bottom case for this thing. Now, where are we secured with this battery?
Maybe it's glued.
No, I don't think it's glued. 99% alcohol and a little turkey baster here. Just a little bit, just to loosen that adhesive. I don't want to pry on this thing too much because it's already bloated and God knows I don't trust Razer's batteries to not explode in my face.
Is it working?
Yeah, it actually is. There we go. So that's 1/2. A second. Ah, there it is. And we got a little more right here. Now it's ready to come out. Here we are.
Wow.
What an interesting battery placement.
That is a wet boy.
This is interesting. So we should transfer these rubber stoppers to the new battery. All right, let's see. What's under this? Okay, just the cells. So there's nothing under this. All right, let's throw this thing into the toilet. I'm just kidding. We throw it into our battery box, our fireproof battery box. I'm gonna change gloves.
How do we know it's fireproof?
You wanna find out?
Heck yeah!
Hey, let's do it!
Catch us on the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Come on in here, Lupe. Let's inspect what we see first off. Wi-Fi card. There's a SATA HDD adapter or SSD, whatever you want, but there's no caddy right here, which is stinky. I'm sure we can just tape it just like they did with the battery. That's the LCD panel for the touchpad. Look how tiny that fan is. My hands are very tiny. Look how tiny the fan is. I see Samsung chips. Is this the GPU RAM? The VRAM? Who knows? We'll find out. What sucks is that this is upside down. The board is upside down. So I have to remove the motherboard entirely to get to the heatsink so I can repaste it. Did you see that? I'm guessing they wanted to use those for intake fans as well, like intake little fans.
It's nice.
It's not nice.
It's a magnet.
That's not a magnet, that's just plastic and cheap clips and cheap glue. What bothers me even more is Razer knows their laptops get hot and adhesive doesn't like heat. Adhesive loses its strength when it's hot. The MacBook Pro suffered, ironically, the same issue back in like the early unibody days, where the hinge would just detach completely from the back panel because of the adhesive would get too hot. Very interesting design choice. It's like every company is 5 years behind Apple, but they want to imitate Apple without the corrections that Apple made to their early fuck-ups. Let's continue. So we have these ribbon cables. We have a daughter board here, and I want to be very gentle with holy mother of Christ.
Wow.
Look at that adhesive. I believe that's just adhesive and it's not actually like corrosion or anything. It's just, that's what happens to adhesive after a while. So these are the daughter board connectors. This thing's definitely been through some stuff. I'm surprised it's lasted this long, man. There's sand everywhere. You can tell this guy was Mr. Worldwide. He traveled a lot with this thing. It's been in a lot of different environments. It's always interesting seeing the stories that laptops have. Usually you don't know, you just have to guess. So it's cool that the guy shared the story with me. I have an idea. I'm gonna try to just use some 99% alcohol in a toothbrush I stole from your mother last night to loosen up the adhesive. Cracking, there we go. And here is the SSD. What do we have? 128 gig. There's two big boy connectors right here that connect it to the motherboard. We have 2 screws, and this daughter board should pop right out. Yes, oh geez. And there we go, all the ports.
Well, I never noticed they were green.
Yeah, Razer's snake colors. Let's take this drive out. And Wi-Fi card, can we remove the Wi-Fi card from here? I guess we're gonna find out. Why does the air taste weird? Is there a chemical bomb in there or something? Is this a dirty bomb?
Yes.
All right, well, if I die on this video, just know that I hate you. The speaker is pretty big, but I don't know how it sounds because I haven't booted it up yet. This looks like it is a webcam, maybe? It's so funny how laptops, even from 10 years ago, everything is just a little bit bigger than it is now. What is this? The fan connector. So I'm gonna be real gentle on this one. Wiggly, 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 and that comes out. And I don't wanna forget about this one, which was tied in a knot. Instead of actually getting a fan with a shorter cable, they just tied this one in a knot. I ain't mad at it. I actually, I think that's pretty funny. Now this is sketchy because everything here is easily damageable. The gel connector right here. Oh, get that out. These plastics are so brittle, you see that? See how that just came out like that? These plastics are insanely brittle at this point because this thing has been through such tough environments. But I think we're ready to actually start unscrewing. It looks like there's not too many screws. I don't have to take the hinge out, the entire hinge assembly out, which is nice. Let's take out these motherboard screws though. We have nice nifty arrows that tell us where the motherboard screws are. Wow, look how small that fan is, man.
Oh yeah, you listen to that gooch in there?
Nah, it's not too bad.
Inside the fan, unless you look at it?
Yeah, it's a little, yeah, that is a pretty Gucci. Woo! It's inside the fan too, you say?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
What is this, Lupe?
It's the gooch of the Nile.
The Gooch of the Nile. King Tut Gooch.
Yes.
Okay, all right, we got the second one. Oh God, do you see that?
Holy shit.
Let's take this motherboard out. The Gooch of the Nile has been removed. What are we looking like?
Oh wow.
Oh.
That is beautiful. When you look at it.
Would y'all look at this?
16 gig, 12800, so DDR3. And we have the GPU and the CPU. These heatsinks are tiny. I actually can't get over that. Look how thin these heatsinks are. Again, this is Razer prioritizing how thin their device is rather than the performance and the longevity of it. Because there's no way an engineer looks at this and says, yeah, that's enough cooling. This is amazing, man, that this thing made it through all the stuff that it did. I'm gonna just transfer the thermal pads before, because we're gonna blow this out. I don't wanna lose it. So I'm just gonna transfer this thermal pad right here. One of the biggest problems with Razer as well is that they use the top case and the bottom case as heat sinks, which leads to, again, just insane temperatures. A lot of people, like, you know, they can't even touch their keyboard when they're gaming because the thing gets so hot. Time to take it apart, isn't it? I want to start off by unscrewing the CPU. Screws are unscrewed. See what that thermal paste is looking like. A little crusty, but not the worst I've ever seen. That's impressive. We are going to replace it with PTM 7950. I also took the GPU heatsink off. How's that looking? Wow.
Nearly perfect.
Yeah, all right, not bad. All right, so now it's time to clean.
A few moments later.
I'm all cleaned off. Would you look at that? It looks like it has a scratch. The CPU has a scratch in it.
Yeah, you can see it right there.
See that? A little scratch in there. Nothing to worry about, but just, you know, figured I'd mention it. That's the GPU. Whatever that is, we'll find out, obviously. Now, you may ask me, why do I have PTM 7950 in the freezer? The reason for that is it's much easier to peel when it's cold. I'm gonna give a nice little outline for this thing. Now, PTM 7950 does expand, so you don't actually have to use the entire thing. A little bit. Yes. Look at that. Beautiful. Applied with precision. Now I need to clean these disgusting things before I put anything back on. And while I'm at it, I'm gonna clean the rest of the computer because all that sand under the keyboard is what you're seeing all over the screen. Lupe is gonna give me a hand. I don't need to clean that. Thanks, Lupe.
Anytime.
Something I noticed while I was doing this, look at this hinge. Are you looking at it? Watch this. Yeah, not good. So the hinge, I think, is detached from inside. So we are going to take the screen off at a later date, but yeah, we need to clean the screen first because that is pretty gnarly, if you ask me. The reason the screen's so gnarly is there's sand, I think, underneath the keyboard. So we're going to shake the keyboard out a little. We actually should probably take the screen off first. Someone's touched these before.
Probably when we went to Budapest.
I'll bring you to Budapest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, more like booty piss. You know what I mean? And here's the screen. That makes it much easier because what I need to do is bang on this thing to get the crumbs out of the keyboard. There is a ton of stuff. Can you see the gunk under there?
Yep, you can definitely see.
Yeah, so it is going to be difficult to remove all that. I'm going to try my best though, without removing the keycaps. I don't want to remove these damn keycaps because if I break one, all hell's gonna break loose. And this plastic is super brittle because it's been through such harsh environments. Anyways, I started blasting. So I just pretend it's your mother and I hit it from every angle. See these tiny speaker grills? These are always a pain. Oh, you can't see from there. Wow, because they're only cosmetic. The speaker is located underneath here. These grills are just pain. You'll never get that clean. I hate when they use grills like this on computers. It's so frustrating. You'll never get it clean. So here's that screen.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. So we're gonna spray this real quick just to get the gooch crumbs out of here, but most of this stuff we're probably gonna have to manually remove. All right, I think we can leave this room now, actually, because I just need to clean this. I fabricated. I want to see if this hinge actually is falling apart or if it just needs to be tightened. I hope it just needs to be tightened because if it's falling apart, that really stinks. And I'm putting all this effort into here and then for it to just, you know, break while I open it. So there's two pieces of rubber right here that look like they don't do anything. What? What the hell? The Wi-Fi cable is attached to the clutch cover, and Razer attached the hinges to the back panel. So these hinges are screwed into this piece of plastic, this plastic frame. This plastic frame is glued to the back cover. You think you're buying a nice metal screen, when in reality, the screen is just a cover. This is just a cover and it's attached to plastic, which is glued to the damn metal. I hate everything. There's no fixing this. You could probably super glue the bottom right there, but this computer is not worth me doing that. So now this is what's really unfortunate. This is the reason Razer screens are one of the best in the industry. This is all it takes. Do you see this? It's a solid piece of aluminum that's a part of the same top case. There's no plastic holding this in. This is solid. So the screws go directly into the solid block of aluminum. There's reinforcement so that it doesn't rip out of the case. Then they glue the damn metal. They learned from that though. They learned from that. So their newer computers, they are solid also with the hinge. So the hinge mounts as well is a part of the solid case. But I want to give credit where it's due, and I hate giving credit to Razer, but I've always said from day one that their screens are pretty good. And that's all it friggin' takes, dude. All these companies, that's all it takes. But that costs like a cent more during production, so they refuse to do it. Screens back in. Time to put on the heatsink. Heat sinks are in. We are going to gently install the motherboard. Make sure no cables are being covered. Everything looks good. The speaker's good. Wi-Fi cables go under here. That goes there. And this connects to here. So we are
Don't forget for that
looking
one
good.
ribbon one that came.
Oh, Lupe, the greatest assistant that's ever lived. Look at that. That would have sucked. All right, let's screw in the motherboard now. Heatsink fans are gonna go in next, and then we're gonna finally get to install Windows and see what's up with that touchpad. I'm curious about that touchpad, whether or not we can get it to work. I don't think we can, because I believe that touchpad is attached to Synapse 2.0, which is no longer supported. I ran into a few things. I forgot the Wi-Fi cable runs underneath the motherboard, so I did everything and then realized that, so I had to take everything apart and do that again. Other than that, everything went pretty smooth. All these pieces of plastic that the bottom case attaches to, I broke them off, so that's, and some were already broken. Okay, we're gonna install our 1 terabyte Inland Platinum. If you notice too, I put Captain tape on all the spots that had this tape on there, and the reason for that is because these serve two purposes. One, they hold down the cables, but two, they prevent shorting since this is metal, they prevent shorting from the contacts on the motherboard or the connectors or whatever to this thing. And make sure you always screw the computer back in before you test it.
Wow, man. You have a career in buffing cars.
Yep, I do. That's where I'm gonna end up if the RAM prices maintain. That screen's looking great. Let's plug it in. We have light. Beautiful. This is what we want to see. We're gonna install Windows. F12, and we're gonna boot into nothing because it doesn't see the drive. Adapter wasn't working. It doesn't recognize this adapter. Weird. Maybe the BIOS just doesn't recognize this amount of greatness. So we used our Windows 11 USB, and we're going into there right now. So this is a Windows 11 made with Rufus, so it's bypassed the requirements.
Don't tell Microsoft that.
Shh, keep it a secret between us, all 2.3 million of us. This thing is hauling already. I am gonna elevate it. The two little vents right there, that's the only thing keeping this computer cool. It's the stupidest friggin' design I've ever seen in my life. This was the biggest selling point of this computer, was this damn touchpad.
Hey guys, you guys can do it on the right side, man.
Well, it's an LCD.
Yeah.
It's an LCD that doesn't work anymore. Even better. It's weird because using it as a touchpad, it's very grippy. You don't want a touchpad to be grippy. You want to be able to like slide around. This thing like stops your finger. And if you're not wearing gloves, like this is a fingerprint magnet. This might take a few minutes. Don't turn off your PC. The fan is pumping right now, man.
Even with the PTM 780?
That is a new PTM I'm not aware of. PTM 420. All right, are we charging? We are charging, which is good. And let's look at our drivers. It probably has a crap ton of drivers to install. I am curious what the GPU is on this thing.
Nah, dog, you go to info, bro, and I'll tell you right there, man.
System information?
Yeah, man.
All right, let's prove Lupe
I do this
wrong.
for a living.
Unfortunately, Lupe's not aware that it only tells you that after you install the driver. The more you know.
I never got that far.
Yeah.
Science class.
GTX 960M, that's what the graphics card is. I am going to install an older version of Razer Synapse, Razer Synapse 2. That's the version that came with this machine. So I had to go to Chocolatey to get this, and hopefully it works now. Ironically, there's a driver that just says Razer Blade, so that's interesting, but hopefully this installs Razer Synapse 2.0. But when I was reading the fine print on this thing, Razer Synapse requires you to create an account, update the software, and then you can use it offline. So you're not buying this. You're just subscribing to that. That requires software that they no longer support. Let's see if we can get it to work the way it was supposed to work when it was brand new. So let's try to make usernames. Razer ID is already taken. How about... So now it's updating. Now, what's going to happen here is it's going to update Synapse to the latest version. But the latest version doesn't support SwitchBlade. The main feature of a product that somebody spent $2,500 for back in 10 years ago was obsolete as of 2019, which tracks with how Razer functions, right? 4 years legacy device, so you just keep purchasing stuff. Razer Synapse is installed. Razer Synapse is discontinued. 2025 Razer Synapse 2 has been retired. It will no longer be supported or receive updates. That's fine. Does it work? I see nothing. Do you, Lupe?
I think I see. Oh.
I see these.
I see it.
So I see the shortcut keys. That's cool. Okay, so apps is... Oh, there we go. Oh, did I freeze it? Oh crap, I think I froze it. My bad. I'm sorry. That's all my fault. Oh, Lupe. This is the Facebook.
Oh, yes.
The backlight doesn't work on this.
So technically what you're saying is we got it to work.
We did get it to work, yes. It's the next day, I restarted the computer and the screen is working. So I see my face on here, but I also see a skull. You know, I have a feeling that that button was put there specifically for me. But the good news is, it actually is working. Now, I think the problem is that none of these apps that I have on here are usable because the software itself is so old, it's not integrated into the newer apps. The reason it was so hard to see is because it's very bright in our office. But if you shut the light off, it's clearly that's how they wanted this thing to appear. So as a gamer, you're probably in your mom's basement with the lights off, and now this looks cool. I mean, this is cool as hell.
Oh yeah, put the anime girls on there.
Again, a really cool feature, man. I think it's a gimmick, obviously, but I can see how this would be useful. But as you can see, if I press like the Spotify button, it's trying to open up an old version of Spotify, so it'll just glitch out and say like, this isn't supported or whatever. But I mean, they did release the SDK, so this is for Adobe Premiere. This is like shortcut keys that you can bind to certain functions, which is, again, pretty cool. This is a numpad, pretty cool. Counter-Strike, so you click that, and then you can play like CSGO, CS Source, and then 1.6, which is crazy. That's how old this thing is. Cool little logo there. It had functions, you know. My favorite feature, obviously, is
the greatest technician that's ever lived.
gracing your touchpad while you're working. But it just sucks that they stopped supporting this so soon after unveiling it. We're gonna do a stress test on this bad boy. I'm just curious what the temps are at. It'll take a second. So right now we're doing absolutely nothing, and temps are at 80 degrees Celsius. I lied. The CPU is at 100%.
Wow.
Yeah. So let's stress test it. I'm gonna click start, and then it's gonna stress the CPU and the GPU. But what can this even be used for now? It's a GTX 960M. It's big, it's falling apart. What the hell do I do with it? I'm just happy I got it to work, and I'm glad I got my meme to work, even though it's kind of difficult to see in the daylight or whatever. What the hell do we do with it? Let me know in the comments what you want to see me do with this thing. For now, I think I'm just gonna put it here on the shelf of misfits with our MSI that has great hardware, but hinge breaks off very easy. If you remember, we replaced the hinge on this. Our FX, Gateway FX, GPU problems. Toshiba Cosmio, GPU problems. And the other Cosmio, GPU problems. So all of these are misfits. They were great machines, but they all had some sort of design flaw with them. All of them are currently working. And so is this Razer. The SDK is linked below. I'm gonna link the SDK below in case any of you fine creatures want to program something funny for this thing. As long as you don't vibe code it. Don't do that. I enjoy you guys. You guys are way smarter than I am, but for now, it's gonna go right here.
Like and subscribe. Hit that bell.
Hit that bell, make sure you hit that bell. Ha 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 ha!